Michelle Obama's a man.
Of course.
That's Elon Musk's father, Errol Musk, making a shocking claim about the former First Lady. But is there any truth to this conspiracy theory? From viral videos to alleged insider revelations, we dive into the rumours surrounding Michelle Obama's identity. Is this just wild speculation, or is there something more to the story? Let's uncover the facts and the fiction. Welcome to Celebrity Issues TV. This is Chloe. Over the years, countless conspiracy theories have swirled around Michelle Obama. One of the most persistent claims is that she is not who she appears to be. Remember her appearance on The Ellen Show, where Michelle was dancing? And some viewers claimed to see something unusual. While most saw this as harmless fun, others weren't convinced. On social media platforms like X, users began calling her Big Mike.
Big Mike. Big Mike. Big Bad Mike. Every morning at the mine you can see him arrive. 6'6", weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulders and narrow at the hip. Everybody knew you can give Big Mike no lip.
Fueling speculation that there might be more to the story. But wait, it gets stranger. Comedian Joan Rivers once made headline when she allegedly said Michelle Obama was transgender.
Ms. Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I am so excited.
Yeah.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman
we
president?
already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay.
While many dismissed her comments as jokes, some believe she was revealing insider information before her untimely death. Let's finish watching the clip where Errol Musk claims that the Obama family is hiding a secret.
I've never been impressed with Obama's approach. You know, we realized we'd learned Obama's a queer married to a man who dresses as a woman. We'd all learned that. It's not common knowledge, you know, that
Michelle Obama's a man.
Of course. You don't know that?
I didn't know that, no.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joan Rivers mentioned it publicly, and she was dead 2 weeks later, by the way.
You think?
Oh, yes.
They axed her, eh?
They axed her, yeah. So that's common knowledge. You can look it up on any internet thing. Sure. And, Michelle Obama's a man. Obviously, you know, they've got, got pictures of her in tracksuits with a 9-inch schlong hanging down her leg. No, it's a leg. Anyway.
Then there's Barack Obama himself. During speeches, he reportedly slipped up and called Michelle Michael.
Men and women of the finest military in the world. And most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael and I.
Does anything scare him?
You know, well, when Michelle's mad, when Michelle's mad,
Was it just a simple mistake or proof of a hidden truth? Barack Obama's own family hasn't escaped scrutiny either. His brother, Malik Obama, who was his best man at his wedding, has repeatedly hinted at Michelle's alleged identity.
My name is Malik Obama. I'm speaking to you today from my hometown, Kogelo in Kenya. I'm the brother of former President Barack Obama, who was named after my father, Barack Obama. You have probably seen pictures of me online at Barack and Michelle's wedding in 1992. I was the best man.
Posting cryptic messages, photos, and tweets claiming that Michelle is actually a man. What does he know that we don't? And then there's David Upchurch, who claims to be Michelle's ex-boyfriend. According to him, her real name is Michael Robinson. Could this be the alleged evidence? In another twist, some have used artificial intelligence to analyse old childhood photos of Michelle. Shockingly, the AI reportedly identified the subject as male. Adding to the mystery, reports surfaced after Michelle's mother passed away, claiming she left her an inheritance, not to Michelle, but to her son, Michael. Perhaps the wildest claims come from an interview conducted by Tucker Carlson. In it, A man alleges intimate encounters with Barack Obama while using drugs. He goes on to question both Barack's sexuality and Michelle's gender identity.
Thank you for inviting me.
Where did you meet Barack Obama?
It was by accident. I was in the Chicago area in '99 for Lee Duke's graduation from the Naval Academy.
Who's Lee Duke?
He's basically my godson.
Okay.
I had hired a limousine service.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you live in Chicago then?
No. I was actually living in Colorado. I had flown in the night before.
Okay.
So I had hired a limousine service, had made the driver aware that if Lee couldn't leave the base, because once they graduate, some of them actually get their assignments and they're shipping out and they can't leave the base, that I was still interested in going out. And had asked the driver if he knew anybody that was available that might want to show me, Chicago. And he said he did. So
who was the driver?
His name was Jamir Multani. It was with 5-star limo.
So you're just a guy who's in town for the night, and it sounds like you're looking to party, actually.
Yeah.
That's what you're really saying.
Yeah. Well, I was in town for a few nights, but yeah, I was definitely looking to party. And
did you make that clear to the driver?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was no misunderstanding.
How direct were you about that?
Extremely.
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 Okay.
Yeah. There was no doubt what I was looking for.
Okay.
And he picked me up at my hotel in Gurnee and drove into Chicago, pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. It was literally that casual.
Had you ever heard of him?
No.
Did the driver know him?
Yep. The driver definitely knew him because the driver said that he was a friend.
Interesting. How would the driver be friends with Barack Obama?
I only found out later, dealing with a reporter from Bloomberg News, that apparently the limousine company had been doing business with Tony Resco, that at the time was somehow affiliated with Barack
Obama's
Obama.
Orbit.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Interesting. So he knew Barack Obama, and in his view, Barack Obama liked the same kind of partying you were looking for.
Yep.
Okay. So sex and drugs, in other words.
The sex part I wasn't so sure about until, of course, you make your move, but it became obvious very quick. The coke part I thought was interesting because of the way that I had brought it up.
So I'm stepping on your story. So you pull up, and I apologize. So you pull up to this bar. The driver is basically scouting some dude for you to hang out with.
Correct.
There's this guy, Barack Obama. Have you ever heard of Barack Obama?
Never. Okay. Never. We're having drinks. I mentioned the fact that I could use something to wake up. I was extremely exhausted.
So you went into the bar?
Yes, sir.
What kind of bar was it?
I'm trying to remember. I've been trying to remember the name. I know that the glasses had 3 X's on them because I remember taking one home for a friend of mine.
But I mean, generally characterize it. Was it
working
class bar, gay bar,
upscale,
strip bar?
It was upscale, quiet. Wasn't really that really didn't have a lot of energy to it. It was more relaxed, more like a lounge as opposed to somewhere where people would go and get loud and crazy.
Yeah.
Which made it easier to talk. But like I said, when I brought up the fact that I could use something to wake up, he immediately knew what I was referring to, had made it clear that I was looking for coke, and I really was, and had made the suggestion that he knew where we could get it, and we left to go get it.
Interesting. Did he say what he did for a living?
Nope. I had no idea that he was a representative in the Illinois House. I had no idea he was in politics. I just knew that he was supposedly married and at the time was going through some issues with the marriage.
He said that?
That was made clear, yeah.
Huh. Did he say what kind of issues?
No.
Do you remember? No. So you said, I'm looking for someone to wake up. He knows you're referring to cocaine. I know where to get it. What happens next?
We get back in the limo. The driver takes us wherever it is that Barack had instructed him to take us. I had given Barack $250 to pay for Coke. He gets out, comes back. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort.
And you're in the limo.
Yep.
Driving or parked?
No, the driver's driving.
Yep.
I start to put a line on a CD tray, and I just happen to notice that he pulls something else out of his pocket. And next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I don't have an issue with it. I mean, some people smoke, some people snort.
Smoking the cocaine?
Yes. So as I'm doing a line, I just start, this is the part where you kind of make your move to see where things are going. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go. So the night became somewhat active sexually and drug-wise in the limo.
So you hit on him. Did he seem shocked by that?
Not at all.
Yeah. I mean, if you're smoking crack with a stranger in the back of a limo, like, you got to imagine things might go crazy places.
Well, not only imagine it, I look at it this way. I've done a lot of crazy things in my lifetime. I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I pretty much know whether or not I can move in a certain direction with an individual. I didn't feel that I was going in the wrong direction. I just wasn't so sure how much I could trust the individual at first. And that was probably one of my bigger concerns. But the fact that I was already becoming somewhat buzzed, you kind of throw caution to the wind.
You weren't sure you could trust the individual. What does that mean?
When you meet someone out of the blue and you go to a level that you're doing drugs with, or you're giving money to purchase drugs, or even for sexual activity, you have to be sure that you can trust them. And when I say trust, I mean that you're not going to end up being robbed, or that you're not going to end up having a knife stuck into you, from one direction or another, or that you're not going to pull up somewhere and all of a sudden the car door is going to open and you got 5 people pulling you out of it.
Totally.
That's what I mean when I say trust someone.
And you've been around at this point in your life, big time.
Yeah.
Right. So probably not your first time in a situation like this.
Not at all. And that's why I said I pretty much know where I can go and at what point.
So you start rubbing his leg, and I think, I'll just be totally blunt with you, like a man who's not into gay sex would be like, whoa, settle down.
Trust me, if it was something that you were not interested in,
Yeah.
And you're right. I've had guys that I read wrong that would literally try to break your hand.
For sure.
If you went in that route. So it's not like this was something that he wasn't into. It's not something that he was shocked by.
Yeah.
Shocked by, you don't get excited and you don't unbutton your pants and you don't just sit there and let it happen.
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't Barack's first time. That much I'm absolutely certain of. And I would almost be willing to bet you it wasn't his last.
So you performed oral sex on Barack
did.
Obama. You did. In the driver's up front?
Yep.
And he's cool with this?
The driver has the partition up. He didn't have a problem with it. He didn't put it down for any reason.
I mean, he kind of set up the whole thing for this in the first place.
Exactly. And I have a funny feeling he had no bones to pick with it as far as what took place in it.
Yeah. So what happened after?
Afterwards, I actually went back to my hotel. I had specifically asked that he drop Barack off first, but for some reason he and Barack chose that they would drop me off at the hotel first and then he would take Barack. So Barack actually made the drive out to Gurnee, which is a suburb outside of Chicago, to the hotel for me to be dropped off.
What hotel was that?
It was the Comfort Inn in Gurnee.
Ooh, that sounds depressing.
Well, you have to remember it was 99.
Yeah. No,
and it was close to the Great Lakes Naval facilities.
Yeah.
But I got dropped off. They left. The next day was somewhat interesting because he ends up showing up at my hotel room, which I thought was somewhat weird, but
he wanted some more.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say he showed up, he just
He showed up. I mean, I had no warning. I was in the room. There's a knock on the door. I opened the door and he's standing there. And he's standing there with more coke, and he comes in, and it was just like a quick, rehash or rerun from the night before.
Exact same program.
Exact same program.
Was he smoking again?
Yep.
So Barack Obama smokes crack, and then you perform oral sex on him.
And like I said, the only reason I had come out about it is I had reached out to the campaign even in 2007. Only because I saw all these kids getting excited about it.
Okay, wait, so how did that end?
Same way. So you get off, you finish smoking, you leave.
Thanks, bye?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. What did you think of him?
I thought it was interesting. I thought he was definitely a con. But
what do you mean by that?
Well, in my life at that point, you made it clear I had already been around.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So when people are doing things because they actually really enjoy it, or they're sincere, or they're looking, for a connection, or they're doing something because they're looking for an in, or they're looking for a hook, or it's a game.
Yeah.
So for me, I felt that it was a game for him. It was like, okay, what am I going to get out of it? Or is there something I can get out of it other than just, the sexual part?
Right.
And lucky for me, I wasn't going back to Chicago anytime soon, so it really didn't matter.
So you were left with a bad taste in your mouth?
Something, yeah. Yeah.
Did you talk to him again?
I did not. In fact.
So you're sitting there in Mexico watching this, and you think, that's the guy I had sex with who smoked crack with me.
Yep.
And what do you think?
Like I said, I just started cracking up. I freaked out. I had even pointed out to some friends of mine that were at the house that night, and I told them, I said, you're not going to believe this. I said, I blew this guy twice. And they just start cracking up. But that's the thing about me. I've never been in the closet. I've never hid. I mean, I'm always very direct and blunt. Yeah. And, I'm just like, this is unreal.
Could this be the final piece of the puzzle, or just another layer of confusion? That video went viral on the internet, and if it wasn't real, you'd think Barack Obama would have shown proof or even sued, but he didn't. So is this the truth? But Michelle Obama isn't alone in being targeted by these kinds of allegations. Candace Owens has a documentary called Becoming Bridget, in which she allegedly presents proof that France's First Lady, Brigitte Macron, is transgender. Owens claims that the French government has been lying to the public about her identity.
For any person investigating this case to ask questions like, is this Brigitte Trudeau in the wedding photo? You will notice we didn't ask that question when my legal team got involved. We didn't say, is this Brigitte Trudeau in the wedding photo? We had to instead ask something more specific. Is this the current First Lady of France, Brigitte Macron, pictured here in this wedding photo? Okay? And that's when the couple gets real quiet. They don't want to answer those questions. You guys get what I'm getting at here, okay? Because we can confirm that that is indeed a photo of a woman named Brigitte Trudeau in that wedding photo. Where that Brigitte is, we cannot confirm because the First Lady refuses to answer. She has a mother-in-law who helps transgender people get new identities. So you have to essentially understand that you can just take somebody's name. You can become somebody else at a moment's notice. Now, legally, when you become transgendered, okay? This brings us to Jean-Michel Trudeau. Okay, we obviously have to discuss him. This is Brigitte Trudeau's brother. Today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Jean-Michel Trudeau. It's real important that we learn about him, a guy who was so close to his sister, two different people, his sister, Brigitte Trudeau, that she made him the best man at her wedding. But then He just was completely missing from mention when the First Lady Brigitte Macron came into power.
Some claim that Brigitte has been exposed as a man, pointing to supposed proof shared online. These accusations have sparked heated debates worldwide. Is this just another example of baseless speculation gone viral? So what do you think? Is Michelle Obama secretly a man? Or are these wild theories simply the result of overactive imaginations and internet echo chambers? Remember folks, everything discussed in this video is based on speculation. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. What's the craziest conspiracy theory you've ever heard? Let us know.